Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Dark Fires Podcast. I have some members up on the panel. Please go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Queen Z.
Hey, and I'm the boy that G, that one that speak.
And we are Dark Fires Podcast. And today's topic for episode 2 is mental health. And with mental health, we're covering a lot of bases. So I hope you guys ready. Let's get into it. Are y'all dealing with
So, no,
Mhm.
go ahead, go ahead.
Are you dealing with any of so this is gonna be a random question for whoever's out there and is gonna be watching. So do you guys suffer from trauma, drama, meltdowns? Some other good lists we could think of panic attacks, or you just
Anxiety.
or anxiety, or you just can't see. You lost your vision. Let me stop.
I'm so glad she'll never see this.
Oh my goodness. That's not, that's
Never gonna
not.
know. I'm never gonna drop a name.
Mm,
She's never gonna know.
yeah, no,
Absolutely,
we're not even gonna name drop.
absolutely not.
We're not even
We
gonna
can't
name
drop.
drop.
We can't drop. No, I just
We
had to
don't do
throw some.
that here. We don't do that. We don't give out
No, we
governments.
don't do the name drops. No,
We don't
no.
give out government.
We're
Absolutely
too
not.
classy
Uh,
for that, guys.
Oh, God. I just had to throw some. I just had to get the icebreaker. That was a good icebreaker. I loved it. Gotta just get the laugh out. But yeah. Any of you guys out there struggling with anything, dealing with mental health?
well, I was just saying that I think, I think everybody, I think mental health is a human condition,
Mhm.
something that we all go through that varies. It's ups
Very.
and downs. Happiness is fleeting, number
It
one.
is indeed.
And
Mhm.
because of that, we have, this predisposed, you know, mentality of going into different types of mental health issues, be it for a period of time or a long period of time. It
Mhm.
doesn't really matter. And it doesn't define you. It
Mhm.
does not define you. You can be depressed, you can be anxious, you can have PTSD, you can be bipolar, you can be schizo. It doesn't really define you. It is a
Mhm.
part of you. This is true, but it does not define you. And I think we should all, like, as a misnomer, point
Mhm.
that out so that everybody knows this is a safe space.
It
We're
is.
not here to
Right.
ridicule, we're
It
not here
is
to
a safe
judge.
space.
Nope.
We're
Mhm.
not here to be mean. We're just here to
Nope.
have the conversation. Start it off to talk about ourselves.
Mhm.
I know I have struggled with my own bands of mental health issues my whole life. My brother died when I was 11, and it took its toll on me, caused me
Mhm.
to go through a lot of different, things that I didn't at the time understand because mentally that was not where my mind was. I was like, I'm a little kid.
Mhm.
Um, and all the things that transpired and caused it, then of course being bullied, moving from different places to places causes that bouts of depression.
Mhm.
Right.
I have severe anxiety to the point that, like, I when I go to sleep, so there's this thing I found out. I
Mhm.
thought there was something wrong with me because when I go to sleep at night, I twitch. Like, as soon as I start to fall asleep, I
Mhm.
glitch. Like, my leg will jump, my head will I literally glitch. My body just glitches. So I looked it up. I talked to my
Mhm.
therapist about it, and my therapist was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, what that is anxiety. You're so stressed,
Damn.
that when your body finally gets into a truly relaxed mode, it doesn't know what to do, and it thinks something's wrong because you're
Mm.
always in a heightened state of tenseness and stress, that at the point of truly falling asleep, your
Mhm.
body gets scared and is like, no, wake up, no, don't do that, don't, and so I glitch. And that is a form of anxiety that I have that manifests itself in that way. It's the weirdest thing, like, so weird, but
Yeah.
it
Did you?
happens because I'm constantly going through the stressors of life, because if you don't know, life is a bitch, and either you fuck her or she fucks you, but either way, somebody's getting fucked. And that's the point.
With no
And
lube.
so, I, like,
Hey.
from the economy to the world to societal norms and to just trying to make it in this fucked up world that we are all living in,
Say that again.
um, I am tense. So it, I get it. I get it. So I think that I think it's not just something that is, you know, some people. It's
Hmm.
definitely not a some people type of situation. This is a everybody has something. There's something wrong with everybody.
Hmm.
Be honest, like I agree with that. You know, um, and sometimes that may stem from, like G said, to be honest, is like a lot of traumas,
Hmm.
a lot of things that have really taken you and basically transformed your whole entire psyche, and something that just one little thing just sets all of that off. And for an example, I'm gonna use the little guy that we had recently we were gaming with as an example of that. The young man that was like we were playing with on Fortnite, we were live the other night, and like he was playing with somebody that was on PlayStation.
Okay.
It's not funny and everything, but to be honest, like it was really. But I see where how hurt he was. I felt that hurt, but nevertheless, we're playing. We're
Oh.
yeah, yeah. So we're playing with him, and he was like, man, I just honestly like wanted that skin really bad, and like he was like, man, the dude was supposed to gift me, but he blocked me. I'm like, I felt that. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be very empathetic towards that because I'm like, I felt that
Mhm.
infliction of, somebody just saying that they're gonna do something and they don't do it, they don't follow through. That kind of
Or it's
really
like
like
they
crumbled.
renege
Yeah,
type shit.
right, 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 right. And it's just like it's one of those things that's like it's a trigger. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that is like always stemmed with someone. You know what I'm saying? Not personally, like well, with myself and everything, my old self, I'm actually trying to go through a mental cleanse right now.
Mhm.
Because I really just get back to who I am. But I felt that. Like I said, I felt that, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be empathetic towards him. I feel like people need to be more human, like human. We're humanitarians. We're supposed to be, there
Mhm.
for one another. But it's like we're just like crumbled, and it's just like all of these different things, and different groups, and like everything just got us so split apart to the point where we just can't come back together with it.
Well,
And
you know
like
what that really is?
mm,
That is the division tactic of societal norms. So
right,
we have been taught from an early age that there is, the good, the bad.
Mhm.
We
right,
are taught that
yeah.
there is no gray, there is either good or bad.
Mhm.
And bad always falls on the side of addicts, mental health people.
Mhm.
These things are bad. So when you look at a person who may struggle with addiction or may struggle with mental health,
Mhm.
um, we are basically conditioned to be unempathetic, to be like, you did that to yourself,
Right.
That is true.
to treat somebody as if there's something wrong with them because they're not quote unquote normal.
Normal.
And
Right.
that level of, lack of empathy is
Mhm.
what's wrong with the world. We are very we are been desensitized. We lack empathy, like as a whole. Like, I know it's not all of us, of course not,
Right. Right.
but for the vast majority of people, especially Americans, we have learned to be selfish,
Mhm.
to
And you know
to
what? And to piggyback off of that, really, to be honest, I feel like it's somewhat, what I'm saying, I really don't like to play these cards and everything, but I feel like it's like the African American community is one. You know what I'm saying? Like I
One.
feel like growing up in a like very, harsh neighborhood and everything, like you were always like having to be on defense. It wasn't just like you just could just be relaxed.
Mhm.
It's like because it's like as soon as you take that moment of breathe or relax, you solve. You know what I'm saying? And I really feel like that's something that really just has rubbed me the wrong way over the course of the years. Like I'm like, what are you playing the tough guy for and everything? Really, to be honest, it's like since I've been with Love Bug and everything, we, you know what I'm saying? Like, at first I was like, I would thought it like that, you know what I'm saying? But then it's just like, nah, you should be more empathetic. You should be more human, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, like, what if you were that person that needed that chance? You can't sit there and, you know, you can't expect for the cosmos and everything around you to have that energy to bring it back to you. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, whatever you built out is what's going to come back to you. Like, it's not going to be, you know what I'm saying, very small. It's going to be times 10. Typically, it does. And it's horrible. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like our community is very, like, when it comes down to that, like, we are very desensitized out of every ethnic background. Like, we are very, like, our skin tone is very desensitized to that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I concur.
even with our ancestors.
I mean, I will say, look, I will say this. I was just having this conversation last night. I was on the podcast. That being said, shout out to Said. And we talked about shame, because I wrote a poem called The Shame Game, based off of the game Shame, you know, shame, shame, shame. I don't want to go to Mexico. That I made a whole poem based off that song about shame. And he wanted to talk about shame in the Black community specifically, and how we have shamed ourselves for not being Black enough, you know, and not being able to fit in, or and not even just be Black enough for white people, would be Black enough for our own people. How that set of, you know, like being hard, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be that. If you're not that, then you're not Black enough, you're not hood enough, you're not this enough. And that lack of understanding that we as individuals are, in fact, individuals, is the problem that we have in this community, because we have for so long been told what we are supposed to be, that the chance to live free is so crazy to our elders. Like, it's one of the reasons why, like, you know, as a parent now, my parents, older Black people, are constantly in my face about how I raise my daughter. And I'm like, I will never destroy her independent spirit. Will I check her when she needs to be checked? Sure. But I'm not going to stop her from being a free individual, because we have built up this society, this culture amongst ourselves, to become our own new slave masters.
Right.
And that's how we raise our children. We raise our children like they're our slaves. And that's a deep thought, but it's the truth. Like, that's how our parents raised us. You know, you know, you couldn't talk, you couldn't do, you couldn't be without their say so. You know what I'm saying? And the second you stepped out of line, here comes that backlash, that reminder that somebody is overseeing you, that reminder that somebody is in control of you. And that is a big factor in the PTSD that we go through in our community, and as millennials, like, especially millennials, Gen Xers, we have the biggest bout of PTSD when it comes to how we were raised. And that is the reason why a lot of, like, I would say a lot of these Gen Z kids are a tad off the charts. Okay, they are, because parenting is a trial and error situation. Okay, it's a trial and error situation. There's no book on it. Nobody knows exactly how to do it, because for millennial, we've clearly been doing it wrong. Okay. But we are now understanding that, you know, we have to be empathetic, that we are raising a human being, not a child. You're like, that's the idea. It's like, my child may be a child because of her age, but she's not a dog. Okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not my pet. She's not my slave. She is a human being that I am raising, that I am turning into a functioning adult in this world. And to do that, I have to be empathetic. To do that, I have to cater to the idea that she is 4 years old and she's in her own world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I have to cater to that. If I don't, then I will crush her spirit. I will snuff out the fire that lives inside her. She is very independent and determined and resilient. And if I literally treat her the way my parents treated me, or the way these other Black adults expect me to treat my child, like, I'll never forget this one girl telling me, this one lady, she was like, oh, your child gonna end up on a pole. You gonna have hell when your kid get to be 13, 14 years old. She was like, because you just let her do whatever she want to do. Wrong. I don't. I check Bree on the regular. But the
You
thing
do.
is, what I don't do is what I do is my mom says I negotiate with her, but I do because
Mhm.
we gonna talk this out. I don't
Mhm.
understand why you're doing all this. Okay, it's all this is unnecessary. How about we calm down? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? How about we talk about this? Why are we doing this? Don't hit mommy. You don't hit mommy. You know, and I have to explain to her, I understand, mom, when mommy pops you, it's because of this reason. I'm not hitting you for no real reason. I'm not hitting you just because I'm mad. Like, I
Mhm.
have to explain something to see parents think that, oh, I don't have to explain nothing to no child.
You do.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, we don't have to explain that because I'm the adult and you
That's
do as I say. And like I said, that's a PT, like that is, and that's the reason why we are the way we are, like I said, as millennials, because we had to grow up with that and that PTSD, those triggers from jobs, from other
Mhm.
adults around us. I know that I have this whole psychosis around adults. Like even now to this day, I'm 33 years old.
Mhm.
In my psychosis, when I'm around other adults, I tend to become submissive. All of a
Mhm.
sudden I am very catering to whatever want, need, or fancy they have because you're my elder and I have to respect that, right?
Mhm.
I have to cater to you. I am but a child in your midst. Like that is, you know, and that is a part of us. It is a part of who we are. And
Mhm.
like I said, it's wild, but that's one of the things I don't want my daughter growing with. I don't want her to ever have to sit there and think, I can't question what's happening right now because that's an
Mhm.
adult talking to me. No, you can question it because if it don't feel right, it ain't right. You know what I'm saying? But we were
Mhm.
never allowed or given that room to question anything. It's because I said so. Because I'm the adult. I'm your mama. I brought you in this world. I'll take
Yeah,
you out.
right, right. And it was just like that was, and that it's crazy because like I heard a lot of parents growing up saying that was the law. That like that it's me. I'm the law. I'm like,
No, I'm
it's
open up a
like
can of worms with this one because I grew up my entire childhood hearing this one. Stay in the child's place. Like grow like okay, me like and to add on to what both to add on to what both of y'all were saying, to like combine all that together. Me like, and I'm gonna just use it as myself. Me growing up, having to look after my sister. My mom was a single mom after her and my dad got a divorce, you know, whatever, whatever. And I grew up hella fast. So it's kind of hard trying to stay in a child's place, but you're doing adult responsibilities.
you know,
So
and ooh, you know what? I'm gonna let you
so
continue
so
because
we
I'm
so
piggyback off of that too. Because
that so it's like when you're growing up and it's like you're dealing with all of that in your mind and that's in your head. So because I used to always hear my mom say that because I she would tell me certain things. I say why, like I wouldn't say why I like to be rude or
To be
disrespectful. I
rude.
would
You were curious. You need to understand.
yes. Like for prime example, she told us one time that we couldn't go see our dad, and I was like, why we couldn't go see our dad? Because I was I was both a mama's boy and a daddy's boy. I want to go see my dad. My mom was like, you can't go
Well,
see him
how
this
old
week.
were you?
I was young. I had to be what I want to say 13, 14, 13, 14 at the time. If I, because I just, all I remember was I think I had to be in like, yeah, it had to be about 13, 14. But see, even then, my mind was already faster. My mind was already more mature than my age. And half of the stuff I was doing, I didn't understand it. I just knew my mind was on that level and my body and everything else wasn't catching up to my mental because my mental was on a whole nother level. So when she would say that, it'll come out like it just came out. Oh, you can't do this. Why not? But you will let my sister do stuff. But we can get into that, you know. So, but it's like when you are in that mindset and that mental, and the person tells you stay in a child's place, you be like, wait a minute now, like how are you gonna tell me to stay in a child's place, but I'm doing adult stuff, you know?
I mean, it's
It's
like my mom letting me watch Days of Our Lives and then telling me to stay in a child's place. Like, You know what I'm saying? You can't allow me to see and do and be around things. Like my mom constantly let me go outside and play by myself, like literally like I was the candidate to be kidnapped. Okay. Like hours outside by myself, 6 years old, 7 years old by myself, knocking on strangers' doors asking if they have kids, can they come outside and play? And with that, my mom honestly was just like, anyways, my mom was very much so God's watching my child. Um,
And I can
and
see that.
yeah, sometimes I forget my mama. And it's like they honestly I know they tried their best. We all admit that our parents tried their best.
Look. Look. Props to my mom because I'm gonna tell you this. She showed me tough love that I'm glad she showed me. Because if she did not, I wouldn't be who I am right now. Same thing for my dad. Like I said, I tell people, you can be raised in two separate households. I was just talking to my dad yesterday. He said, man, he said, son, he said, your mom took y'all from me when you was 3 and your sister was 1. That's when we went our separate ways. And he said, we still raised y'all in two separate households. My mom taught me how to cook, clean, take care of myself, make sure I can do for myself and won't have to depend on a woman for anything. And my dad said, I'm gonna teach y'all to go out here and work, make your money. If a man don't work, it won't eat.
Okay.
Go
I'm
ahead,
glad
G,
that
go ahead.
I'm glad that you touching on a lot of stuff.
Look.
Let's have our little therapy session.
Hey, look. That's why, like, for me, like, and the main thing for this episode is because for me right now, I'm good mentally. The only thing I battle mentally is the care. Like, I didn't understand. I think I can. I think I can kind of. Well, no. I'm gonna take that back. I do see what my ex was going through, but at the same time, he had the support. When you're a caregiver, it does take a toll on you mentally. It does weigh down on you. It's like a heavy weight on you, you know, but you have to find avenues. You got to find ways around it. What hobbies you want to do, meditation, you want to go for walks. Like it's different things that you can do to get out of that headspace. Cause I find myself in that headspace sometimes. Maybe I need to get out of the house. Maybe I need to go to the store. Maybe I just need to interact with some people because sometimes I do isolate myself off too much. That's the only thing that I battle with mentally. But everything else, I'm good. I've learned to forgive, let go. Me and my mom were on decent talking terms. She'll text me, check up on me here and there, and I'll just be cordial. I just say, hey, I'm doing good, mom. I'm not going to be bitter. I'm not going to be negative. I just say, okay. So, yeah, I can. So the whole point for this podcast is to show people, hey, it's help out there. It's help.
There
Are
is,
people
and
like
there's free help too.
and it's
My
free.
therapist is free right now because he's a good person, one, but two, because I found him on the internet. Like, you can find places that will help you get therapy and it will cost you nothing. You don't
Nothing.
need insurance. You find the right therapist who's willing to be a good human being, and there are plenty of them. You will find yourself getting the help you need. I stand 10 toes down on that because I am at a better place than I was. Simply because I've been in therapy for over a year.
That part.
It's taken a lot to get to where I am, and I'm not better to the point of being I'm healed, it's over, I've survived. But I am at a place where I'm okay in general. I mean, I still struggle with self-love. I have learned to forgive. I have not forgotten, but I have learned to forgive and to give myself that because forgiveness is for you. I want everybody to know that. And it sounds so weird because it does not seem right, but trust me, it is for you. It is not about anybody else. Forgiveness is definitely for you. You are forgiving for yourself, not for what you did, because you didn't even have to do nothing.
No.
It's about forgiving so that you can move on, you can be healed, you can live your life. because that's something I had to come to terms with, was realizing that it's not about them, it's about me.
Yeah.
And what I
Yeah, because and to add on to that, because if you don't forgive people if you don't do it for yourself, you're the one that's going to be bitter. You're the one that's going to let all that negativity manifest and build up inside you, and you're not going to rest. You're not going to rest. You're not going to sleep. Hell, sometimes you might not even eat. And it's a domino effect, because it'll affect. It'll start with you, then it'll affect your household.
it'll trickle down to everybody else.
And then it'll trickle down to everybody else. Hell, it even trickle down to your work environment.
Mm-hmm.
It's serious, because you will carry on that weight everywhere, and it's like you don't want to do that. And
So G, what were you going to say? I'm sorry, we did cut
you
you
off. Sorry.
No, you guys are phenomenal. Hey, like I said, it's a safe space here. It's a safe space here. Hey, I'm just sitting back, just observing and everything, and I have a lot of stuff.
Go ahead and add on what you was about to add on to earlier when I said stay in the child's place, because you know as well as I do.
Okay, so little story time. To be honest, when it comes down to it, that's a saying that not only like my mother had, but not only like my mother, grandmother, like it trickled down to like my aunt, uncles, and like granddad, everybody else. That was a major thing. Mm-hmm. I come out of a household, for everybody that's out there that's gonna watch this and gonna see this. I come from a household. I'm the oldest out of 8 kids.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm. My mom and everything had me at the age of 15. Mm-hmm. So like having a mom that's literally 15 years older than you, that's not a far gap at all. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff that you didn't want to see. It's a lot of stuff that you didn't see that it was like, I'm glad I see it now. And then there's stuff that's like, I wish I could have been thrown to the, but hey, stuff happens, life happens and everything. And because of those experiences, it built me and molded me into the person that, what I'm saying, I potentially, like now, I'm not going to lie. When Tyler first met me, I was a very broken person. I was a very broken person.
I wasn't.
I was broken, because at the end of the day, it's like I would have, like, I'm gonna be honest, I would have meltdowns and get angry with everything. And sometimes I'm human being. Sometimes I still suffer with that. You know what I'm saying? When certain things don't go my way and everything, I'm like, I get angered, like and it's just like sometimes it's like, now I have over the course of the years exercised it enough to like suppress it and actually be like, God, some stuff is out of your control. And I tell myself that and everything. Mm-hmm. It's like, you can only go so far and everything if it's out of your control. If it's in your control, like, do something about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for all of the people that's really depressed out there and everything, I say this: just like find like a hobby that is gonna drive you again. That's gonna put you in that headspace again. Now, some of my hobbies and everything are video games. Me and my brother Tyler here, we actually both game a lot. We used to game a lot together, but unhealthy amounts of gaming. But that's besides the point. But when we first actually like roommated together and everything, and like we lived together and stuff like that, it was really cool, because it was like I actually had someone that went through all of the same similar struggles and stuff that I did, and he's an older brother to his sibling, you know what I'm saying, compared to my 7 that are behind me. So like I get the, growing up fast and everything, you have to, be on your toes and everything. My mom, when we were growing up, she was a very like intelligent, she's still an intelligent woman. She actually just like boy, that woman is hell on wheels. Jesus. I just gotta say that for the people one time. She is hell on wheels. Just like
my mom, my mom the same way. But I think
but the crazy thing is, we all know my mama. My
But when
mom.
I when I
Whew.
first met, you, I didn't see broken when I first met you. Because to give you a little bit of a background, see, when I used to work at the laundromat, that was my first job at 22, was working at the laundromat, or 21, one of the two. And his mom used to come all the time because I never seen bro until he came with her one day. But I was like, who is this? Because he was just a ball full of energy. So I think when I first met you, you was more. I can't say, well, to your eyes, you felt broken, but to me, I think it was more like a misguided kind of thing, and you was just trying to find direction. You were just trying to find the right way to go, or trying to figure out which way to go, so that way you could be on the right path on what to do. Because you was just you was just
sugarcoating it.
huh?
No, just saying.
Look,
I'm like
well,
the folks.
no,
I just want to
no,
let the
no.
folks know that you was
That's
sugarcoating
how
it, but
that's how I more or less saw you. I just saw you as more misguided. Because granted,
right.
let's be realistic here. A mom trying to raise a male child is hard because there are certain things a woman cannot teach a man that a man can't do. Or well, I think I said it backwards. There's some things that a woman can't teach, but a man can. And there are certain things a woman can do, but a man can't do. They can't teach.
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something right quick. Because that statement, it rubs me the wrong way. Let me tell you why.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it's not so much so that women cannot teach a man how to be quote unquote a man. Because
Mm-hmm.
I've seen plenty of successful single mom sons raised by single mothers. And
Mm-hmm.
they're successful, they're good men, they're, and it's not because, there was some benevolent male figure that showed up in their life. It's because
Mm-hmm.
that mom took the time to be both parents. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And to truly be both
Ooh.
parents,
And so,
not the half-ass both parents. You know what I'm saying?
right, right.
Because that half-ass, I'm gonna be both parents, I'm gonna raise my son to know he can't cry because men don't cry. When a woman attributes toxic masculinity to being a real man
Mm-hmm.
and tries to raise a son that way, that is how she fails. When a
That part.
woman decides that she has to bring a man in, and especially because like I'll never forget, I had a friend, I'll never forget this as long as I live.
Mm-hmm.
He was dating this girl. She had a 5-year-old son. And she had dated men before. Men were in and out of her and her son's life, and the boy didn't pee standing up. Like he wasn't used to doing that. Like that wasn't his thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? He would just go sit on the like, because that's just what he did, right?
Mm-hmm.
My friend, he got mad at his girlfriend and told her, "Don't worry, this is why I'm here. I'll teach him how to pee like a boy." And I was like, does it matter? But see,
Sound right or sit right, but anyways,
it doesn't, does it? It doesn't. And it's not
it
okay
raises a
because
lot of
it's not.
cringe.
I was about to say every so
Like
often I
it's
sit there, I sit down and
super
take a look.
right.
I
So
sit down
I'm
and take a
sitting
look
here like
here
I
and
told
now.
my friend, I said, "Yo, I just don't think that's your place." And he's like, "Well, the boy need a father figure." I mean, you're not married to his mom. Are you planning to marry his mom?
Mm-mm.
Like, come on,
Mm-mm.
dude. Like, I know
No.
you.
Yeah.
This is just you're using her for her car. Like, let's be so for real right now. Like, and you're gonna try and come up in this little boy's life and try to tell him, like it's when women do that. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And then they try to raise sons after the facts of those things. Like, let's say that child, she does this over and over again to the child who may be 12, 13 years old. Finally, when the child is 12, 13 years old, she stops really dating, let's say that, right? And then he
Mm-hmm.
grows up in that middle school to high school era without any type of male influence. Only
Mm-hmm.
influence he has is his mother. He's seen how his mother has been treated by men his entire life
Mm-hmm.
up to this point. So now he starts treating women the same way because, of course,
Mm-hmm.
this is the example that's been set. And I think that it takes a special type of woman to be able to
Mm-hmm.
raise a son by herself, especially one that is functioning as a good adult, one that is mentally healthy.
Mhm.
You know, it takes a lot, and it does take a special type of woman, but I don't think that there's no woman out there, or that it's just something we can't do. I think it's something that we as women do not actively think about. Like, I remember I told my friends like just a little while ago, I was like, yo, I'm so afraid to have a son, because they were like, oh, your daughter needs a, you know, sibling. And I was like, yeah, maybe when I'm married. Just not
Mhm.
even for the a fear of being able to raise a son who is or isn't, but my idea was, I'm so men of this era, I am so over it. Like, to the
Child.
point that I'm like, because I hear what these little middle schoolers are doing, and I'm like, if they had ever been that bad, I've been a lesbian. If y'all had been that bad when I was in middle school and high school, I would be a lesbian. I'm bisexual. I'd have been straight up a lesbian. I'd have been like, well, fuck men.
Mm-hmm.
What they talking about? Like,
Number
because these
number
little
cootie
boys
cat over here.
today,
The cootie cat.
I don't know who's raising them. I don't know what's going on, if it's the
So
internet,
so
but
with this with this
it's
generation right
wild. And if
now,
my son,
yeah.
I'm taking him out the world. I'm taking him out. I'm I'm
Yes. So
I'm taking him
to
out.
add, to add into that, so the men in this generation right now, it they don't have old school dads like how my dad was. Oh shit, did he drop? Where'd he go?
Where'd he go? Did he pause? He might have paused.
Oh, he might have paused.
Yeah,
I don't even think it's the old school. Let me tell you something. I don't even think
I'm
it's the
here. I'm
old school
sorry.
dad. I
Well,
think honestly that it's the idea that boys are being raised. Today's culture is toxic. Okay.
it is.
From over stimulation, from video games to music to television, we are all stimulated, and
Dude, that's
children
it.
are overstimulated from a very young age, and information is so free. Like, when we were younger, we had to sneak and turn on the HBO after
Mhm,
dark. We had to find
mhm,
out the code that our
mhm.
parents, put into the TV. We couldn't just, get on the internet and go to Pornhub. Like, that wasn't a thing. Like
Yeah.
that was not a thing. Like,
Definitely wasn't a thing.
so, because we didn't have laptops or phones in our hands that we could hide in the bedroom with us. Do you get what I'm
No
saying? And
facts.
so here you have a whole generation of men growing up with this availability to see and hear whatever they want to hear and see.
Mhm,
And depending on who the father is in their life, depending on whether it's an absent father or an actual father,
mhm,
you get a lot of boys who have a misguided sense of what being a man is, because
mhm,
especially if you grew up, like, if you're between the ages of, Jesus, I would say 11 and 17 right now, your moral compass is jacked. I can
all the
almost
way
guarantee
up.
you, I would say half of them, if not a majority of them, are jacked.
Mhm,
Why? Because in the last decade alone, the way
Mm.
podcasts, the way YouTube has become a fixture of reliability for getting your information, for finding out things, for
mhm,
knowing things. And it's mass, like, information. You're not even getting good information. It's worse
mhm.
than, when they say, oh, if you don't tell your kids, they're gonna go find their friends and have them tell them. Now, when parents are like, oh, I'm not gonna tell my kids about this stuff, kids just get on the internet
They get on the internet, yeah.
and type in something and go and then search. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And then you
Because
get whatever information shows up first. You're not
mhm,
getting information that you truly need. You're getting whatever information shows up first.
mhm,
And there's a lot of toxic ass alpha men assholes out here with podcasts, with YouTube channels, who are
mhm,
on video gaming platforms.
mhm.
You know
And
what I'm
then like
saying?
you know,
Talking cash
mad
money.
shit,
Okay.
literally.
And these boys, that whether they have a single mom or they have both parents, are hearing this stuff, internalizing it, and thinking, oh, this is okay. Then you get the Me Too movement that came up in the last decade. And it's
Mhm,
like, well, you had all these men who were on one side saying, well, women should just, like, get over that shit. So now you got a whole young generation of men who are like, well, what was wrong with the guys admiring the girls and wanting to touch them and they're either hearing one side or the other from this. And you get what I'm saying? So you have
mhm,
one side of boys who are like, no, I understand no means no. And then you
Right.
got the other half who were like,
No
we
means
don't get it.
yes.
That's why, like, I don't know if any of you guys saw this, but I told you about this. The bear question on TikTok
Mm-hmm.
blew up the internet. Blew it up. Blew it. Why? Because men could not fathom, could not understand. And we're not talking about boys. We're talking about, and it was so funny having high schoolers get on and be like, yo, bro, you don't understand why women would choose the bear? Like, because we are talking about the idea that what do I feel safest around in a dark
Mm-hmm.
woods?
Mm-hmm.
Would I feel safer with a strange man I do not know?
Or will I feel secure
Or
around a
bear?
bear?
Would I prefer? What would I prefer to
And
be
you
in the woods with by myself? I'll
and
take
you
the bear.
and
Why?
you just
Because even when we said this, men got up and were like, fine, let them kill you. Like, let
like
the bear
yeah.
kill you. Or if that's how you feel, this is why we rape you. Like they with their whole
Damn.
chest, with their
Oh, they was
whole
going in.
chest. And then you
Yeah,
get
with
these
their
middle
own chat,
schoolers
they're
and high
going
schoolers
crazy.
hearing that stuff and going, well, I look up to this dude, or I've been watching this dude's, content for the longest, and I agree with everything he says. He must be right about this too. Right. And let's say if they
Right.
lack that father figure, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
in their life. And what's that mama going to be able to do? Because at this point, her whole credibility is shot.
Oh,
Her whole
shot.
credibility has been shot by
Gone.
this random stranger on the internet. So like we're at a disadvantage because of the
Mm-hmm.
internet. And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, it would take a special type of woman to be able to raise a son alone and do it well. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
it's one of my things with my daughter. I know that like I'm gonna have to do, and it's not just because, even if she was a boy, if because she's a girl, it's gonna take a special. Like I already know at some point when she's 14, 15, we probably gonna come to throwing hands. I already know it, not because I want to throw hands with her,
Mm-hmm.
but because she's 4 and she got a
That's
smart ass.
that's how it's gonna be. That's how it's gonna be with my niece. That's how it's gonna be with Emerald.
Like, but that's
And she's
okay because
7.
we gonna fight it out and then we gonna talk it out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna be I'm beating the hell out of my kid for no reason. Like, she
Mm-hmm.
really gonna have to try my gangster for it to
Mm-hmm.
happen. But if
Mm-hmm.
it happens, it happens. But we gonna talk about it and we gonna get through it. But parents aren't, millennials are trying to do this because we have learned that this is how we wanted to be treated. Do you get what I'm saying? We've
Mm-hmm.
gotten to a place
That's the
where
reason why it's
we realize
changing.
how we wanted to be treated, and that's how
Oh,
we're trying to treat our kids.
it's
Yeah,
changing. So it's changing.
because I want to piggyback off of that, and because it's funny that you say that. My mom always like, see, it's crazy because it's like even with that, that's kind of a thing that's festering inside me too, and it makes me angry to this day because I'm like, now when I was growing up, I'm about to be 29 in like 2 weeks, so when I was growing up, mom always was like, hey, you're the first. Because I'm 5 years older than my next sibling, which is my brother and everything. I ain't even gonna get. I'm not even gonna do it.
Say
But
that.
nevertheless, my brother that's next to me and everything, he was kind of the like. My mom looked at him as the golden child. Him and my sister that was next to him and everything. Because my sister is 6 years younger
Oh,
than me.
look, they couldn't do no wrong
So
in her eyes.
they
To her
couldn't
eyes,
do.
they
Yeah,
couldn't do no wrong.
he know they could not do any wrong. So it was like for a while, it was just us three. It was just me, my brother, and my sister. So I only had to worry about 2 other siblings at the time. You know what I'm saying? And everybody, like all of my siblings after that, probably I think after my older sister, probably like 6 years, 5 years apart from her. So they all trickling down after that. Everybody
Well, now
like a
you
year
like
old
12.
behind each other.
Jesus.
Yeah, so it's like
Mhm.
I got a sister. I got 3 sisters actually that are all 3 of them in high school now.
Jesus.
As a matter of fact, yeah, all of them in high school now.
Freshman is right. Freshman, I think, what freshman is sophomore.
No, no, like Layla, I think is a sophomore this year. Love is a junior, and Trinity is a senior, if I'm not mistaken.
He's a senior.
Yes,
Back
bro.
to
Like
back
that's
to
that's how I know that time is really really going.
Damn.
Because I'm like, bro, I
Oh my,
remember when they were in elementary school, and
they
I
were
actually
big.
used take them to school.
When I first met them, they were babies. Like they were babies.
Right. So that shows that we you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, I like with just us three, I'm gonna just stay on top of with us three. When we were growing up, my mom was like, "You the first." So at the end of the day, I'm gonna rule you with a brute fist. There is no wiggle room for you. There's no, hey, like you get a nah. It's just like you get whatever I'm gonna give you. Like, and I'm like, damn, that's really cold, bro. Like, but at the same time, like it made me. But it's like over all of that and everything. Like my mom, like growing up fast and everything, having to do all of the like bill paying, learning how to like actually like she was teaching me how to budget and everything. The only thing that my mom really would teach me how to do was drive. And that ass, she stood on that. It took for me to actually move out and then go and do that and experience that on my own. Cause I was like, she just was like, nah, it ain't happening. But she really was like, nah. When it came down to my siblings and everything, she was like, I want to be their friend and everything. I'm just like, bro, like what happened to that Gen X parenthood? You know what I'm saying? Like what happened to that? Cause I'm like, I tell her all the time, and it's a joke that it's an inside joke with me because everybody else is like, oh man, they're like, man, screw you. But like I told her one time, I was like, man, you done got softer than Dairy Queen ice cream, ain't it? I said, boy, I said, you soft, but like, yeah, I told her that, like, straight up, like, and she was just like, I ain't solving everything. I'm like, I'll prove it. No, you won't. You won't prove it because it's like, at the end of the day, you're treating them as if they're your friends. Them are your children. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, bro, when it came down to me actually going, making the grades, you know what I'm saying, keeping up with like the stuff around the house and everything. Like I said, bill paying, because I also was raised by my grandmother too. And so that's another factor that I tell people, I'll be like, the old fashioned values, that's when all of that stuff is really said. Because at the end of the day, like your grandmother sit there and say it's law, bro. There ain't no going against that.
That
Right?
part.
If you go
That
against,
part.
you know what I'm saying? You go against that and everything. She pulling out the classic sport or rock star the child, all of that. We
Don't
done
let her get
been
that
through that
spoon out.
time.
It's done.
Y'all, boy, hey, boy, listen.
Done
I
deal.
really, to be honest, I ain't gonna lie. It's not even the spoon that I'd be worried about. It was when them conversations you'll have where somebody else mess up. Let's just say, one of the siblings sit there and do something.
Oh shit.
And like they're like, oh yeah, well you weren't around to sit there and stop them. Okay, I was at school and everything. Well,
Like that
you
ass.
still
I
the
was.
oldest, so you still gonna get it.
Like,
Bro, what? Oh
Let me
my
tell you
god,
something.
yo,
how you gonna
My
blame
little
me?
sister, my little sister is 6 years younger than me. And I'll
Right.
never forget this as long as I live. This moment will never, it is burned and etched into my memory.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and my stepdad had this like church thing they needed to go to, right? My little sister at this time was 6. She swore what she was 6, almost 7. She swore like she never really believed that when she was with me that I was the authority. You know what I'm saying? Like she was just like you Z, like you ain't nobody
screw you,
special.
like, yeah,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? And so we went outside because she said she wanted to go outside and play. Mom said, take her outside, and then be back in an hour. She's like, because we got to get ready to go. I said, okay, I can tell time. I'm good. So I take her outside. My sister says she want to go find this playground. And I'm like, a playground? I'm like, Rena, I was like, let's just go outside, let's play, whatever, and then let's go back. Rena's like, no, we're gonna go find a playground. So she take me to goddamn Kingdom Come. Okay. It takes us like literally the whole hour almost to get to where she thinks the park is. There is no park. Okay. Then I'm like, I'm like, Rena, we got to go. We need to leave now. She's like, no, we found some friends. Rena, it's time to go. Remember, mom, she's got to go to, to the thing. We got to go. Let's go. My
Right.
sister is tripping. And I'm like, Rena, literally, let's go. She's not listening to me. It's a whole thing. We finally get back to the house. It's been an hour and a half. Okay. We get back to the house. My mom is livid. livid. And she talking about some, why didn't you just bring, what you want me to do? Grab her and throw over my shoulder?
Right.
like I was trying to get her to come. So I'm trying to explain all this to my mom. My mom is looking at me like I am dumb fuck stupid. And I'm like, Mom, listen to me. Your child don't listen. Like, this ain't my problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is obviously a disconnect with you. You did not lay down the rule that I was in charge. Like, I don't understand why you know what I'm saying? You're not grasping where I'm coming from. And my mom was so heated. Then we get back home that night. She grounds me. My stepdad takes my Game Boy SD.
Oh, damn.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my gosh.
Because he saw me playing with it in the back seat and got upset, telling me something, you don't deserve this, you're in trouble. Took it, he never gave it back. I want y'all to understand, he never gave it back. I never got that Game Boy. Okay. So I'm sitting here like, I get home and I'm like, whatever. They tell me I'm grounded. I'm like, for what? I'm like, what am I grounded for? You know, you should have brought your sister back sooner. We were late. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, but that's not my fault. I tried to get her to come. Like I said, I don't know what she expect me to do. And then they told me she wasn't on punishment. And I said,
that's crazy.
I said, I'm sorry.
Crazy.
Let me get this straight.
Man.
But I have to go to my room and do nothing for the rest of the night. And she gets to watch TV out here with y'all. Because what? Oh, she's a kid.
Yeah.
What?
And
I was livid.
You know, and I know you would live it, because here's the thing. It's crazy because I had a similar video game story. Not to cut you off, but I had this was one of the ones that etched in my memory, and this one is going to touch home a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Mm-hmm. So we were so where my grandmother lived and everything. Now Tyler is very familiar with where I live and everything and where I grew up.
Where'd you go?
So
darkness.
Hold on, y'all.
You don't blend it in with the dark.
Okay.
I know I'm dark, but shit.
Hey, listen. You know, we got our Alexas and everything on timers and everything around the house. But yeah. But so nevertheless, Mom actually it was something that was going on, and she was like, she was like, I want to see everybody's report card.
Oh shit.
Why? Oh my goodness. She said she made a deal with all of us. Now it's crazy because it's like when Mom used to make deals and cut deals, it made you feel like you had to go to court. Let me cook. It made you feel like you were in court, because here's the thing: if one person fucked up, the whole entire group is getting it. It doesn't matter. So that's like she was. It felt like you were like watching Law and Order. Let me cook, right? See, you have like the three of us. All right, mind you, I am 5 years older, 6 years older than my siblings. Okay, I said this. So I'm in middle school at this point. They're still in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in 7th grade. My grandma lived in like I said, where Tyler, you know, where he grew up and everything, and where he actually met me and everything. We actually lived in the general area.
So my grandma, she's familiar with the area we grew up in.
Oh, Z, so yeah. Over there,
I live off of all good.
That's crazy.
Look. So she know about Clarkson, Scottsdale, all that. She know about all of that.
Oh, okay. So I grew up in Scottsdale and everything. So my grandma lived there for 40. She lived there for 49 years before the house burned down. No, we had a house on.
You guys had a house over there. Okay.
In Parkdale.
Yeah, okay, like, on that backside. Yeah.
In the neighborhood. Yeah. So my grandma actually lived there for 49 years before the house burned down when I was in 7th grade. So I was in 7th grade. This is before the house actually burned down. And actually, this is how crazy this is. 3 days, 3 to 4 days before the house burned down. Actually, we got our progress report. My mom was like, "All right." She said, "If any of y'all got anything lower than the sea, or like, she was like, I'll let you slide with what was it? She like probably like if it was a 75, she'll let you slide because she'll be like, I want you to get your grade up. You know what I'm saying? Because she believed that you were human. You know what I'm saying? But she was like, nah, I need to see A's and B's this time. Like, so she was like, anything lower than the sea, like your games, all that shit, everything getting taken. And she used to have an empty fucking dryer. I'm not kidding, bro. My mom put this dryer together. She hollowed out the inside of the dryer, literally opened the door and had a compartment that literally we could put all of our video games. Like we have 4 PS2s, we had 2 Xboxes. We each of us, well, I say each of us, every last one of us had PSPs, Nintendo DSs. We had Game Boy Color. We were very big video game collectors. But we were happy because I'm like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like having video games and stuff on PS2 and all of that stuff, that was crazy. Our video game collection was insane. But like, she basically took the shit because like I think it was either my brother or sister. One of them got like a C or a D in the class. So she was like, I'm taking it. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna take it. So she took them. She locked everything up. Every last console, every last handheld, it was locked the fuck up in this dryer. And she had it like she drilled like 4 holes to put a deadbolt lock on this thing and a padlock. She was like, she was like, you think that you're gonna go and get the key and you're gonna find it? You're not. My grandma was the one that kept the key. But she had us so damn wound up and fooled, we thought that she had the key.
No.
But grandma had the key the whole time. So we're sitting there, we like, damn, how the hell we gonna get our game back? We were mad, but at the same time, it was like a blessing and a curse. Because when we had a very like bad power outage, and Georgia Power, man, it took fucking forever to come out to the house. And the dude that came out there, he was drunk. He was working for the company, drunk as hell on the job. So he came, and so my grandma's fuse box and everything at the time was kind of old. So it's like he kept flicking it, you know what I'm saying? And of course, the electric currents and everything. I mean, I'm also an auto tech person too. I'm sorry. So you're gonna hear me talk, but like the currents and all of that stuff, like when you flicking a fuse box back and forth, all of that stuff generate electricity in there that's unwanted. So it's an unwanted charge that can spark a fire. So he kept flipping it. Next thing you know, like we just kept seeing sparks. We told him like, yo, like you gonna have to get out of here, bro. Like, cause you tripping, bro. So like he left. So like they sent another person out. They took forever. So they told us, they were like, yeah, we deeming it unsafe. Y'all gotta leave for the night. And we'll come back and we'll figure out something in the morning. So that's what my mom, grandma, did. Loaded all of us up in the truck. We left. We didn't even spin the block. Not even. We drove all the way up. Like I'm talking about all around Atlanta. Like I'm talking about that night. We literally like stopped. We went and got like late night food, like, and drove. My mom drove for hours. So like we finally stopped at a hotel and everything. We put our stuff in. We go and like check on the house and shit. The house is up in flames. Like no capture. Like the whole entire fucking shit was in flames, bro. And like we're just and like of course us being kids, if us being selfish, we like where the hell our video games come to play at? Like I'm talking about me doing Mary looking like what's going on with the video game? We can repair the house, right? Like, bro, like,
but where are my games?
Right. I'm talking about, man. Yo, listen, man. That drop. I'm gonna say this. Safe to say, A dryer will protect your video games and your video game consoles. For everybody that's out there listening, the old school, and not the new stuff, the old school stuff, man. But they recovered. We had like once they put the fire out and all of that stuff, we went in there, recovered it, and it like the games were untouched. We were like, oh, like I'm talking about, we were in there like.
That's wild.
That
But that was something. Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you like this. Hey, and it was a Whirlpool too, old school Whirlpool. So shout out to Whirlpool, man. They ain't even paying me, but shout out to Whirlpool. Yeah, it was crazy, bro. I was like, dang, man. But that was like, one of those things that I was like, damn, that made me listen to my mom and grandma a little bit more. But I'm like, bro, like over the course of time, it's just like, like you like, nah, because you're on your own wave of thinking now.
I can agree, but see, this is the thing, and see, like I hated my grandma. Like my grandma died 4 years ago. I can't stand that woman. I call her the Iron Lady because she is the Iron Lady. Like that woman had like no emotions. Like I'm sure she had emotions, but like we didn't.
They weren't shown.
Like she was just mean for no reason. Like she was mean
Yeah,
my mom will tell you her mom was mean and mean spirited. And when my brother died, so let me tell you this, a little backstory. The summer my brother died, I turned 11, right? And I went up to Delaware because my brother was sick his whole life. He died at 7. And he was in and out of hospitals. And so that summer, I went up to go spend the summer with my mom. The last half of the summer with my mom, with my brother, we stayed at the Ron McDonald House. My brother was at AI DuPont Hospital in Delaware. It was a good time for what it was worth. 2 weeks before my brother died, this house I'm sitting in right now got struck by lightning and burnt down. Like literally struck by lightning and burnt down. And then 2 weeks later, my brother died.
Oh shit.
And then at the funeral, my parents told me they were getting divorced.
Oh, dang.
So
it was just like it was hit after hit after hit.
When I tell you the universe said, how much can she take? It was real, right? And so
we're talking about
snowball effect.
Look, by the time it was a snowball effect. Like it was like I lost my home, I lost my brother, and I lost my family all in one fell swoop, right?
Damn. Jesus.
And by the time I got to the funeral, the level of fucks I had was already kind of like gone, right?
Donated and they was out the door.
And I don't like dead people. I don't like dead people. It scares the shit out of me. Graveyards creep me out. I get really bad vibes in graveyards. This is just a thing with me, right? I can feel ghosts. But I feel them. So I know when they're like, it's a thing for me. Like it's been my whole life. I've been like this. My mom will even tell you, she'll be like, it's always you. Cause it is always me. Like we are always in a situation, we'll be somewhere really old and creepy. And all of a sudden something weird happens. Why? Cause I can feel it. I can sense it. Right. So we get to my grandma's house and my mom and my grandma's house has been my grandma's house since before my mom was born, right? And we get there and, my mom got gospel music playing. She's cooking, which is abnormal as fuck because I don't know who the hell told my mom to cook for her son's funeral, but someone did, okay? Mind you, mean-ass grandmother, okay? So we get to the house. I'm already in the mindset of I don't want to go to this funeral. I don't want to go to this wake. I don't want to see my brother like this. This is not what I want, right?
Right.
And so when we get there, my grandma was like, "What are you wearing for the wake?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm not going. I really didn't want to come to this at all, but I'm not going." And then my grandma turned around, looked me in my eyeballs, and said, "Are you a part of this family?"
Oh, dang.
And I was like, I think so, but at this moment, I don't think I want to be. And I was like, yes. And she's like, then you're going to the wake. Now, mind you, this wake traumatized me in such a way that I literally drew my brother dead in his coffin for a year and a half straight. Because I never wanted to see. I drew him. Like I was the weird kid in my 6th grade class who was drawing a coffin in her notebooks. and a curly head little boy, and people like the kids thought I was weird, and I was weird because I was traumatized. I
Yeah.
was not with the program at all. And I wasn't getting any active help. Like, there was just, I was just in the trenches. Okay. And because my father
Mhm.
had lived here for most of the time that my brother was sick and we were in Minnesota, I came back here by myself. Like, my
Mhm.
dad was barely like in my brother's life. You know what I'm saying? Like, he not like because he didn't want to be, but because he was trying to keep the house here and he had to keep his job here so my brother could have his insurance. Right.
Right. Yeah.
And
Gotcha.
it was just a clusterfuck. So when my brother died, I realized I had all these memories of my brother. I realized I had all these moments with my brother that my dad didn't. So I bottled my pain because I didn't want him to know how painful it was for me
Mhm.
because I knew how painful it had to be for him. Same with my
Mhm.
mom. I
Mhm.
bottled my pain with my mom, even though I figured I could be able to share more with my mom because, we had the memories. We knew we were there. We
Right.
were active with it. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
Yeah.
I
Right.
hoped
Right.
that I could share with her, right?
Mhm.
Couldn't. I remember right after the funeral, like the week we stayed with my grandma, I literally was on suicide watch for my mom. I'm 11 years old
Damn.
and I'm on suicide watch for my mom, not anybody else. My grandma's just like, oh, your mother's fine. And I'm like, bitch,
No.
she's disappeared. Where is she?
Mhm.
Like, she just went for a walk. Well, then someone should be walking with her. Like, I was, I was in it. Like, I was like, I gotta be strong for her. Like,
Mhm.
like, and
Mhm.
that level of lack of, not being able to be a child, not being able to express my own sadness, my own pain, my own fear, being forced to go to the funeral, being forced to go and sit in the graveyard. Like, I literally hid in the car and not
I was gonna say not in the coffin.
in the not in the car. God, I would have never done that. But I hid in the limo when we got to the graveyard. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to see none of it. And then my family literally thought I was weird. Like, my mom's cousin came and was like, someone get her out that car. And it took my mom's sister being like, yo, leave Z the fuck alone. Like, for anybody to stop like tripping about what the fuck was wrong with me, like as if this is just a normal occurrence. My little brother has just died, and y'all are just like, you should be right front and center. Like, my family fucked up. Okay, I got a real fucked up family, but it's like
Shit,
that
don't we
level
all?
of, huh?
I would say, don't we all? Cause shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it was just a lot of trauma, right? And so because of that, my depression has gone up
Up
and
and down.
down. I thought I was bipolar for the longest because I would
Mhm.
have manic episodes, where like I would just get manic, crazed, like ridiculousness, or I'd have severe lows, and I was like, I must be bipolar. This has got to be, like, I've been self-diagnosing since I was 14. Like, I've been like,
That part.
there's something wrong with me. And I think like it's because I've been trying to figure it out. Plus, since I was 14, I've been psychoanalyzing my family for this exact reason. Because I was like, there's a reason I'm fucked up. And I
It,
guarantee
it,
it stems
it
from
ain't
y'all.
me. It ain't me.
Okay.
It's from
Because
y'all.
I know I didn't come here with this shit. Like, I just want to
Exactly.
throw everybody here. I
Exactly.
thought I don't think I showed up like this. Okay. I
Mm.
just don't think that's how God, like, y'all, everybody says that God made you perfect. So I'm just gonna say
Mhm.
something along the way messed some shit up. Okay. And it was not one.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
I, spent so much time trying to figure it out that now I have like all these backstories. I know everything. And so now I've psychoanalyzed to the point that like I know my family's trauma. I
Yep.
understand why my mom treated me the way she did. I understand why my mom acted the way she did. I understand
Mhm.
why my aunt is the way she is. I understand why my sister's the way she is. I understand why my little sister's the way she is. I understand why my dad's the way he is from his own trauma with his family. Like, there's just so much. And that's what I mean by like, it's not, mental illness is not something that just nobody has. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, everybody has these struggles. And one thing I learned when I went to rehab was that it can always be worse.
It can.
And that is something that I think we need to, like you said, when it comes to being empathetic, it can always be worse. You can be sitting there thinking my life is the shittiest shit show
But there's people
ever.
going through worse.
And then there's people going through where
Yeah.
it's like, I'll never forget the day I heard this girl tell me that she literally was ODing and her friends just kicked her out in front of the ER and drove off. And I was like, or the woman told me she was panhandling so she could do drugs. And I was like, oh my God, I could never. I got
Damn.
to get here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much. And it's like your brain like wants to tell you, well, my shit was bad because you're feeling it. And your feelings are valid. This is just a simple fact. Your feelings are valid. You are valid for feeling the way you feel. You are valid for thinking how you think, because at the end of the day, you cannot forget what made you, and your life made you. Your life made you. And I think that's the thing, we as human beings have to step outside ourselves in these situations. And that is something very hard to do, especially when you have, you know, your ego that says I, me. You know what I'm saying? Your ego tells you, you know, like I've had fights with close friends over the validity of each other's pain, because you know, oh, well, your life couldn't have been as bad as my life. Well, I know my life looks like a bed of roses, but I don't know if you remember, but roses got thorns, bitch. Like, you know, like there's like, let's not, I might have been walking around in Gap and, you know, an Old Navy for most of my childhood. Let's not bullshit with you. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that it was all gravy because of that. Like, you know, it's like those little things we think, oh, you know, we will judge, we will what is it, have preconceived notions about people based on what we see on the outside. Whatever's on the outside, whatever's projected, the pretty picture, we see that and we go, okay, that must be the reality. And it's more often than not even close to the reality. You know what I'm saying? The prettiest of pictures have the ugliest insides. You know what I'm saying? And that is why I say mental illness is a human condition. You cannot grow up in any situation. There are parents who have millions of dollars, have the best of kids, but those kids are fucked up. Why? And not in the traditional sense. They're fucked up because they're too spoiled. They're too selfish. You know what I'm saying? They're fucked up because there are too many high expectations from parents, expecting them to be a certain way, and not being able to freely express themselves causes them to be depressed, causes them to have anxiety. You know, these things that, you know, we're like, oh, maybe only you feel like, oh, well, if I'm poor, you know, it's just for me. It's why white people, especially poor white people, hate the term white privilege. Poor white people hate white privilege, not because it doesn't exist, but because the term is triggering to the idea that I sat here and ate sugar sandwiches just like you niggas. And you got the audacity to tell me I have privilege. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know I can make spam too. What are you talking about? You know, you know, I ate Vienna sausages out the can with my fingers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I lived in a trailer my whole life. You know what I'm saying? What privilege? Like, so because of that, you know, we have to realize that, you know, these things are used, like you said, to divide us, right? I tell people this also, my favorite thing to say to people is, we are all standing in line waiting for these goddamn boots they tell us we should use to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, right? We all stand in this goddamn line. And instead of worrying about why the line ain't motherfucking moving, we turn around and asking each other why the fuck your feet look different from mine.
That part.
You asking each other, we aren't the reason the line's not moving. We are not the reason that things are not happening. But instead of asking the people who can change something or questioning or checking that system, we're more concerned with, you know, the person behind me, their feet don't look like mine. I don't appreciate that shit. And I bet you that's the reason why the line's not goddamn moving. Like, nah, nigga, that ain't the reason why the line's not moving. The line's not moving because these motherfuckers up here with the power to move the line ain't moving the motherfucking line.
Look,
we can all get these bootstraps. Like, we all need a pair of boots. We all got no boots, right? We all have no boots. We all ain't got no boots. Why don't we have boots? You know what I'm saying? Why aren't we all getting the mental health that help that we need? Because they don't want us to. That divisionary tactic that they use to create this discord between us all, it's layered in the minute details, whether it be race, whether it be gender, whether it be creed, whether it be your religion, it does not matter. They use the minute details, and then what makes it worse is your mental illnesses that we have, these anxieties, this depression feeds off of that. It
Panic
feeds
attacks.
off of it. It feeds off the division because now you hate yourself because, well, I'm not Christian enough. I had a friend who told me, she was like, I think I'm a bad Christian. I was like, what? I was like, how are you?
I mean, you can be you.
And I was like, the whole point is grace. So
yeah.
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
I know you could. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know you can be a hypocrite. You can be a hypocrite Christian, but you can't be a bad Christian.
But she thinks she's a bad Christian, and I'm like, I don't understand. Or like my big sister, love her dearly, but I told her, I was like, Steenie, if the rapture happens and you don't go, there's like a 99.9% chance that that's gonna happen, and I guarantee you it's not. Like the 0.001 and 0.75% chance that you don't get taken with the rapture is just non-existent. Like if the rapture would have come, and that's the whole plot and premise of this entire investigation that we have lived through, then trust me, you of all people are going. Okay. But there are people who that anxiety, that depression, like I said, it feeds off it. It feeds off the idea that we're not good enough. Because as soon as someone tells you, oh, you got white privilege, but you ain't never had a goddamn privilege in your life, at least not one that you can see, right? Now all of a sudden you're upset. You're triggered because how dare you? And then, you get told that, Black people are all on welfare. That's not the truth. We know that it's mostly white people, which makes the whole thing funnier because then they're like, well, we all on welfare. How you gonna sit here and tell me I got privilege? Like, I get it. But like I said, that's that division tactic. And then your depression feeds off that. Your anxiety feeds off of that. Your fears is fed on. Like I said, it's fear mongering. You're living in a state of pure fear mongering. And that causes more depression, anxiety, and lack of will in everybody. And that's why some people are ending up in psych wards. So many people are, turning to drugs as a way to self-medicate. That's why people are smoking weed like it's going out of fucking style, and it's not even the good shit. Like y'all up here smoking the shit that's laced with fentanyl because
and oregano.
Because you just need something, right? And that's something, because happiness is fleeting. It's that something that makes you feel happy. That's something that makes you feel better than you were before. And as the registered addict of this group, I can tell you it works for a moment. A moment.
Not just for a moment. Oh my gosh.
And then you're down, and then you got to find more. And now and what's worse about that is that like you try to find more, and then like you realize you ain't got no money for more, right? And then you feel worse because now you don't spend all your money. Now you feel even worse. It's like it's like this vicious cycle of just depression and anxiety, because you got anxiety about how you gonna get more money to get more drugs. Then you got depression because you feel bad that you got to do all this extra shit to get money to get drugs. Like you are constantly. And this is the battle that we have. I mean, like people have the same battle when it comes to food, the same battle when it comes to, paying for their house. How am I going to pay for my house? I still need to pay for food. How am I going to pay for electricity, cable, this isn't the third, and still feed my family when the economy is this bad? This level of depression, this level of, anxiety that is ruling the American people, ruling not even just the American people, but the world at this time. Like we all know we're like 2.8 seconds away from World War III, and we all know it.
It's very capitalistic, and that is crazy because we live in a very capitalistic society, bro. Like if you don't have the means and everything, it's like you really not. It's like nothing. It's like that's crazy to me because it's like this is coming from someone that actually works and goes to school and like provides, and it's just like, bro, like, and that's a mechanic, and there's like this is not a job that's taken lightly. We risking our lives every day. Like, what if it lifts? Like, you know what I'm saying? God forbid, you know what I'm saying? Like that something fails on one of these machines. Like, something happens, you could really lose it. Out of here, done. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I done seen so many videos and stuff like that. So I take all of my precautions. I pray to the Lord every time I lift a car and everything in there. Please walk with me, be with me, and everything. Every step of the way.
It's just like kids going to school. One of my biggest fears, like that's the reason why I don't want my daughter to go to public school. God. Everybody talks about it, but the truth is, I don't want my daughter going to public school. Why? Because you know what schools don't get shot up? Private schools.
Hello.
You know, schools don't get shot up. Private schools.
Mm-hmm.
And because
but
the reason
schools get shot up like it's going out of style, and I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me because I promise this world, I'll burn it to the ground. I'll burn the whole place to the ground. I have no qualms. Like, fuck being that parent who's like, I'm gonna now join the Congress and the Senate to prevent these things from happening. No, I'm burning the world. I'm burning the world. I will fuck it. These hands are rated E for everybody. Okay, so please do not try my child's life because it's gonna be the last thing you do, and I will have to file in my mugshot in jail for it. Think I'm joking?
That's a liar.
It's not a game. I don't know who. Have you seen that? There's a TikTok going around where they ask these mothers. They were like, "Would you kill for your child?" And they're like, "Oh no, no." Oh. I'm sorry, I must have heard you incorrect. No, I would definitely kill for my child, right? No, I'm confused. What do you? Yeah, because there's no accidents when it comes to my kid. Like, if it's my kid, there's no accident. I plan that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we did this. Yeah. We did this. Like, and you can lock me up, take me away, because I did that. Like, what do you mean? Like, that's not a question. That's just a statement. I did, and I will. That part. Like, you know, like, I don't understand, like, even for propriety's sake, I just don't want to say that because I don't want people to think. Nah, I want you to think. I want you to be aware.
I want you to know.
I need you to be aware of this situation. You know, for your own safety, for your safety and my child's, because that way you know that fucking with her fucks with your life. Like that it's just it's a simple equation. Fucking with her, fuck with your life. Don't do it to yourself.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? But that's like that whole idea behind, you know, these schools getting shot up. Like I said, I'm not with it. I can't get behind it. Like, and I don't care how many of these little white kids want to run out here and shoot up a school. You know, y'all talk about it's us and we got guns in the hood and all this shit. Not one hood school has been shot up. Not one. For all the guns, for all the gun jobs that we got, not one black school been shot up. We just want to make that perfectly clear so that we can understand the consensus on what's going on here and who is making these decisions. Like, I know that we can be upset. And I know these kids got their own issues. I'm not going to say they don't have their own issues. They do. I'm pretty sure it's mental health. We're not going to sit here and negate that or invalidate the fact that they may be going through something. What I'm saying is that this is the reason why mental health is important. Because if these kids don't have a healthy outlet, if these kids don't have a safe space to go and talk to somebody, if these kids don't have, you know, a loving, you know, empathetic and understanding household, this is what happens. You know, to people talk about, you know, my kid's transgender, they're going to come home transgender. No, they're not. If your kid, let me tell you something right now. If your kid gets home from school one day and all of a sudden you're shocked that they're transgender, you're a bad parent.
Not paying attention.
You're a bad parent. You want to know why? Not because they're transgender, but because you didn't know. Because you should know your kid. You should know your kid to the point that if they were thinking it, you know it. You should be enough in their life that you understand what's going on with them. But we parents, I don't know what it is. It's some type of like adulthood trigger. I'm so honest.
No,
like I kind of feel it creeping up on me. It's like this adulthood trigger that says, oh my God, what the fuck do they have to be upset about? Like, I don't know how many times I've caught myself being like, why the fuck is Brie upset? Like she got no bills to pay. She, shit is not stressful for her. Like there is nothing wrong with her life. She gets to play and watch Blippi all goddamn day.
Not Blippi.
Like she can do whatever the fuck she want when the fuck she want. She wants some French fries. French fries just magically motherfucking up here. Like she ain't got shit to be worried about. So why the fuck is she crying right now? Like I have caught myself in that thought process instead of, and you have to like realize that kids are many human beings. They're not many adults. They're many human beings, which means they have a spectrum range of emotions, thoughts, and feelings that they may not be able to express in the way that we as adults can express them. But they have them. But they have no sexualities. They have no gender real identity. Their gender identity is what they've been told. So just understand, if you tell them that something's for a boy and they constantly like these things that are for a boy, I'm guaranteeing you they're going to be like, Mommy, I'm a boy. Because you told them constantly that the things they like are solely for boys. Like, you got to realize that this is conditioning. And I'm not saying that, we are training our children. I'm saying you got to realize that mentality is key. It's what you're projecting. You're projecting adult-like thoughts onto children. Stop that.
Stop that.
Let these kids be kids. That little boy want to wear a tutu. Let him live his best life. He might want to be a ballerina one day. Who knows? And ain't nothing wrong with that. He's still a boy. You gotta remember that you're still a boy despite it. That's the one, because your mission on Earth this time, you were born a boy.
That's
your
it.
mission on Earth this time. Like, now you want to change that when you're 21 years old, go live your best life. I don't know if that was the mission plot point, but the point is, once you're an adult, do live your best life.
Live your best life.
Understand something. When they're children, like they're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 19 years old, let them be kids. If they want to dress, like, let them dress and do how they, but don't put the stipulation on it, because the stipulation is what causes the mentality. Like I said, these kids ain't got no sexualities. They're kids. They're kids. Like you tell somebody they gay long enough, they might turn out gay. like, let's be honest. You tell somebody from the age of 5 that how they are is that they're gay, that they must be gay, that everything about them is gay. And when they turn 15, 16 years old, when they're venturing into their sexuality and finding out what they actually like, they will venture towards what they've been told their whole life. Not to say that they weren't in the first place. The point is, they will venture towards what they were told and what has been brainwashed into them into believing, because you constantly told them. So now they're interested. Now they're curious. You get what I'm saying?
That part.
And now you've got, this situation on your hands where you're like, oh my God, my kid's gay. And you're wondering why. Oh, I always knew they were gay.
God damn it.
Should have kept to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you did, you just wait till they tell you. That's the point. You're supposed to wait till they tell you. And then you'd be like, yeah, I saw that coming. You're for you, ma'am. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not supposed to be a situation where, like, it's you make fun of your kid for something like their mannerisms, their habits, their hobbies, their likes. You're bullying your kid.
No, literally.
And teach your kids to bully other kids for their habits, likes, causing psychoses, causing mental health issues. Because why? For why? They're kids. Let them live their best lives. Like, literally, they're not. Is it really harming you? Is it really bothering you that much? Like, and if it is, ask yourself as an adult why it does. Because you're an adult. like you're an adult, and you being in kids' business makes no sense. Like,
so let me see. So let me she
like,
there we
that's
go.
A kid. You let the kid be in a kid's place, and the kid in the kid place means that they just live their lives. Like, I'll never forget, I saw a video where this man came in and his son was playing dress up at daycare, and he had on a dress and he was playing a princess, and the dad got heated. And when I say he got heated in such a way, he snatched his son up, ripped the clothes off of him, told him he was a boy. And I was like, you know how traumatizing that probably was for that little boy? He was just in an imaginary play world. It wasn't about being a boy or a girl for that little boy. He was in an imaginary play world where he was a princess.
Right.
Like you getting upset over imagination. Like you can't, like, did your son come home and was like, yes, and now that I've worn a dress, I would so love to wear dresses all the time. No, that hadn't happened. But now you've caused a negative reaction to something that he just found interesting because it was fun to play. Like they were playing dress up. That's what it is. I'll never forget my brother put on a dress. My mom was like, oh my God. I was like, Mom, stop tripping. I told her, I was like 9, and I was like, Mom, you got to stop tripping. He just put the dress on because I put the dress on Rena. And he was like, let me put the dress on too. Like,
Yeah,
it's like it was not a situation of, this 3-year-old little boy is like, I want to wear a dress. Nah, we were all putting on shit. Like, you got to realize kids are really truly thinking we're all in this together, we're all playing whatever we're playing. It's us who want to be like, oh, that's your little girlfriend, that's your little boyfriend. No, that's my friend.
That's my friend.
Oh, that's your little boyfriend. And now they're like, oh, I guess, yeah.
No, I
and
guess.
Now they know what boyfriend and girlfriends do.
Yeah, right.
And that's how you get 10-year-olds sucking dick.
Peer pressures.
Wait a minute.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing it out there to people. Like, I need everybody to realize that things don't make no sense to me, that when you literally are out here, peer pressuring children, instituting these negative mindsets into them, and then being upset when they turn out a certain way, because you don't realize that this whole time you've been preconditioning them to think, look at, and feel a certain way about stuff. Whole life they feel like there's something wrong with them because I gravitated towards boy stuff more than girl stuff, so then I probably am a stud. You know what I'm saying? I do like boy clothes better. I do, like, I'm bi. I'll tell you right now, it don't matter who kissed me. It's gonna feel good
as long as you're attractive. That's all that matters.
As long as you're attractive, like, you know what I'm saying. But that's me. Like, but that wasn't something that was, that I learned when I was a kid. Like, no. But I knew when I was a kid I liked boys. I did like boys. I always liked boys.
No, but you still do.
Really attractive. Like you can't. But that's something. That came with age. I always thought boys were cute. I always wanted to play with them because I wanted to be one of the boys. You know what I'm saying? I want to be better than the boys. You know what I'm saying? I thought when I was 7 years old, I thought my mission in life was to destroy boys.
God damn it.
Like, I was like, I am here to destroy boys, to prove that anything you can do, I can do better. Like, that was my mentality. So, like, I think we need to realize that we cannot force our adult mindsets onto children, else we're going to cause psychoses and mental traumas that then turn around and bite us in the ass. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Putting your child through transgender reassignment surgery when they're like 8, 9 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old, you're traumatizing your child. You're traumatizing your child. Even if you think they're asking for it, they do not have the cognitive dissonance to understand what they are truly.
They haven't even fully.
It is your job as the adult to say, okay, baby, I see what you're saying. If you want to grow your hair out, you want to wear boy clothes, you want to cut your hair off, that's fine. But until you're 21 and your body has fully grown the way it needs to as a human being, we can shelf this topic.
That part.
Right.
Like, we can shelf this topic. I'm not saying we're not talking about it. I'm not outright telling you you're wrong. I'm not going to demean you or invalidate how you feel. You want to be called a different name, baby. What's your name? What's your name? But what I'm not going to do is start putting you on hormones or cutting things off because this is how you feel at this moment. My daughter likes to run around and play fetch with me. Does that make her a dog? Does that make my daughter a dog?
No, because she's not barking the same way.
She likes to tell me she's a dog too. She's like, I'm a dog, mommy. Woof.
Oh gosh.
So I'm supposed to be like, I guess we gonna call you Spot now, and I'm gonna get you a leash. Yeah. Like, I need people to realize that's what you sound like when you say my kid wants to be, and I'm gonna start getting them, transgender reassignment surgery. Like, not to say be trans. No. If that's what they really want when they are an adult and can make that cognitive decision for themselves, fuck yes.
That part.
But at that age, it is your job as a parent and as the person taking care of that human being to make sure they grow as a functioning human being first, and then allow them to do whatever the hell they want to do. And that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do.
Good.
And love them through it. If that's what they like, love them through it. Love them through it. If that's what they want, that's what they want. And you can let them grow their hair, cut the hair off, dress how they want to dress, do what they want to do, let them enjoy, express themselves. But you don't have to go through the extreme just because you want to feel like you're being an ally or feel like you're giving them the love and acceptance. Love and acceptance means that I love you. I hear you. And I accept what you're saying, but we need to come back to this at a later date. But other than that, let's go shopping. Like, let's go shopping. Like, clearly you need a new wardrobe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not, but I'm not, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's ways to do it. And I'm, like I said, I'm not saying it to bash anybody or to make anybody feel wrong. This is just saying that from a scientific standpoint, you have to let the human body grow.
You have to.
You want to tape your boobs down, baby girl, tape your boobs down. You want to tuck? We'll tuck. You know what I'm saying? I will get on YouTube and go look at Trinity the Tuck's page, and we will figure it out together. Like, you know what I'm saying? But we're not gonna just, you know what I'm saying? Because your body hasn't grown. You haven't formulated yet. Your brain hasn't even actually fully developed yet. Your brain hasn't fully developed yet. We are very.
I'll be right back. Yeah, I feel like a lot of decisions and stuff like that parents really inflict on their children. It's really wild. And honestly, I've been watching a lot of Law and Order, SVU, and I used to watch it as a kid and everything, like when I was like 12 and 13. And it was just really wild to just see these people have these cases and everything. It's just like they're dealing with family members, like other things like rings and trafficking and all this other stuff. And it's like, wow. It's like
world is
the world is actually seeing this. It's actually seeing this. You know what I'm saying? We would have never thought, 2 decades ago, we would be talking about human trafficking.
No. Look here, 30 years, not even 30 years, 22 years ago, I could play outside as a 6-year-old little girl, and I was the candidate to be kidnapped. And let's not pretend like people weren't kidnapping folks back then. They were. But I could play outside by myself, ride my bike mile and a half away from my house in Eagan, Minnesota, and know I was coming home at the end of the night. Okay?
Right.
You cannot do that today. You let your kid outside like that, that young by themselves, they are liable to go missing, not because someone kidnapped them, but because they've been trafficked, or they've been kidnapped. It's either or. I remember, I'll never forget what really fucked me up. This part thing was last year. I heard the ice cream truck.
Oh, the ice cream truck.
Middle of February.
Yeah, I've been hearing them lately.
And I was like, why is the ice cream truck out in February? That's not a thing. Not driving around the neighborhoods. There's places where you can go get some ice cream and from an ice cream truck, but to have one just rolling around the neighborhood playing the song. That's suspicious. In the middle of February? Yeah. Who's selling ice cream to kids outside in February? You can tell, it's so wild out here that everything is the way it is, and it's scary, it's crazy, and we're living in the wild west of the new millennium.
Damn.
It is. That's what it is. The wild west of the new millennium. Anything and everything can happen. I know that apparently I have the demeanor of don't try your life. Everything about me says that. Apparently, don't ask me why, because I don't think it's true.
Yeah, I was about to say, what? What do you mean don't try your life?
I've been told on several occasions that I look like someone you can't fuck with. And I'm like, I've never been in a fight a day in my life. I don't understand, but I think you know, like I thank God for my stocky nature. Like as much as I hate my body because I'm like, oh my God, I'm a tub of lard.
Please
I
stop.
also no really, but I also thank God for it because I realized I ain't some skinny bitch. So it's gonna take like 2-3 men to take me down.
And
Like,
bro, just to remind you, she's about my height.
I am not. I am 5'8".
You don't look 5'8".
Yes, I am 5'8".
Oh no, that's because you had on them heels at one time. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, no. When I have on heels, I'm like 6 foot. That's a fact. But like I'm 5'8", 240. I am not. I am not some little skinny bitch. And like, cause I'd be like, I used to think about this like when I was like a couple years ago when I was living in Florida by
Thick
myself.
girl.
I was like, I go out and I would get fucked up. Like we're talking about like not even a game fucked up. And I used to wonder, no one's ever tried to kidnap me.
Of course, they ain't gonna try to kidnap your ass.
Like I've never been sexually assaulted. I wouldn't know. And I asked one of my friends, I was like, and my friend was like, Z, I don't know how to break this to you, but you are not the candidate to be kidding. And he's like, it's not because you're not pretty, it's just that it would take a lot of effort. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not a snatch and grab deal. Like, you are not the one they're gonna just be like to snatch and put into the van and whoop, you're gone. Like, he's like, that's not gonna happen for you. Like,
no,
like
she
beyond you,
no, because she's a stalky person.
like
Not like
he's like that's
right.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, because I remember I almost like I'll never forget. I probably did almost get roofied, but like I was smart. I might have been fucked up, but this dude was talking to me in the bar and he was like, "Oh, let me buy you a drink," and I was like, "Sure." I'm standing next to the bar. I want y'all to notice I'm standing next to the bar, like literally leaning on my chair at the bar. And he said, "Let me buy you a drink," and I said, "Oh yeah, sure." I turned to look at the bartender to flag her down. This man has left and gone to the other side of the bar, to the other bar. And I'm confused because why would you do that? We're right here. So now I'm instantly suspicious. And I am like 6-7 sheets to the wind. Like I am cooked out my mind, drunk off my ass all at the same time. But the suspicion was still there.
She was cooked.
I was cooked. I was zooted. And I was like, okay. I was like, that's suspicious. So when he popped back up and was like, oh, here's your drink, I was like, thank you. And he was talking to me, and then his friend came up. And when his friend came up to talk to him, I leaned over to the bar and I looked at the bartender and I said, hey. And she was like, what's up? And I was like, dude over here went in all the way over there to get my drink. And she was like, but you're standing here. I was like, exactly. I said, so I got a vodka soda with sour. If you just swap it out. And she was like, got you. And girlfriend made the drink real quick. Swapped it out. I turned back around and was like, yes, thank you so much for the drink. I was like, but then I realized that's probably why I've never been in those situations, is because when when my spidey senses start tingling,
they tingle.
They tingle. And I'm the first one to be like, nope, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not going there. We're not doing that. I'm not getting in this car. We're good. I'm good. Like, you got to trust yourself. And that, like, you know, from a mental health standpoint, as someone who struggles with it, I have learned to trust myself and my instincts because they are hardly ever wrong.
That part.
And, you know, you gotta be there to be there, because if not, you gonna get taken. You gonna like, and it's not a movie.
Gonna get you.
You know what I'm saying? It's not a movie. It's not cute. You end up like the girl in Taken, who ended up strung out and in the bed and just dead. Like, you know, like you don't want to be that girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, and nobody is the girl from Taken whose dad is gonna be like, you know, I have a special sex.
Oh my gosh.
I will find you. Like, none of us have that dad. We all want to believe it, but none of us have that dad. So
there we go.
Be safe out there, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, be smart. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, It's a fact, like, because it's wild out here now. It is really, really wild. And as much as I love, I used to love to have a good time. I am 2 years sober. Um, but it is, and I thank God that I'm sober now, but like, good time or not, watch your own back, because it's
Watch your
wild.
own look. So that rolls into the conclusion to watch your own back. Make sure don't take a random drink from a random stranger. And yeah. Follow your nose. Always follow your nose. Always follow that.
You know what I'm saying?
So-
And if a guy ever acts weird with you over the fact that you put that scrunchie over your drink, that's a red flag.
Oh, a fat ass red flag.
Okay? If he get upset with you over the fact that you put that scrunchie over your drink, red flag. Red flag.
Yeah.
Leave the date. Tell him that you will buy your own drink and leave.
Mhm.
Like, or he can leave for that matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need
That
to,
part.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's real out here. Don't get caught slipping because you're
Mhm.
sad and you lonely.
And
You know what I'm saying?
pay attention. We're definitely gonna do a part 2 for this one because there's so much more to cover. So I would definitely like to do more for this one.
Yeah.
Where'd he go?
It's been like what, 2 hours?
It has, and I know it's super late over there on y'all end because it's only
It's
like
it is
12
almost
something
3
here.
o'clock in the morning.
Right. So I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and wrap this on up so they can sleep. And me too.
Yes.
But no, I definitely love this. I'm gonna definitely go back and watch over this. And I don't think I'll just look and see if I need to cut anything out. I don't think I need to. I think everything is fine. But I definitely love this. I'm glad we got a chance to do this.
Yes, I'm so happy. I was glad to do this. It was an honor
Bro,
to be here with you.
where you at, bro? Come
Right.
put your little 2 sentences in for the conclusion. I know you tending the garden. In the goddamn garden. I was tending the
All I
garden.
gotta say is, hey people, you know what I'm saying? Reach out, get some help.
Yes, always.
That's all we got.
All we got.
So,
And trust me,
you know what I'm saying?
it takes a friend to be a friend. Okay.
That part.
So be a friend.
That
Okay.
part.
Real.
And check on your friends.
Just
Okay.
and
Life
look,
is real out here. No, we don't all got time to be calling and texting each other all day, every day. But if you ain't heard from your friend in a day or two,
it's
and they're really your friend,
yeah. And that
Tyler,
what I do?
you never call.
Y'all said she's gonna put me on blast. I'm sorry.
No, but no, seriously. I mean, I'm fine. I mean, obviously. But that's not the point. The point is that, for real, like, check friends. I know that we all get busy. I know that we all have our lives.
No,
but,
for real.
Check on your friends. If they're really your friends, check on your friends.
Hell, he used to fuss at me.
Like, yeah, because Tyler, you don't know how to text nobody. You don't just
look,
here to Colorado and just
like
look. I don't know what else. I don't know however else to put this. It's like once you isolate yourself, I don't know the best way I can put it, but I be in like a deep isolation half of the time. So when I go MIA, and I always tell people when I go MIA, it's nothing personal towards nobody.
Oh, well, we know it's not personal. We're just saying, in the context of reaching out to your friends, when you really a friend, you should always try to, like, even if they don't text you back, even if you don't hear from them, make sure that you are reaching out to your people, because you never know when they just might need to know that somebody is asking about them.
Well, no, I'll keep that in. No, I'm gonna definitely keep that in mind because you're telling me that for a reason. So I'm gonna definitely keep that in mind.
You're telling me that for a reason.
Hey, look.
I mean,
look,
probably. I don't know how the Holy Spirit works. You know what I'm saying? But
hell, I damn do shit.
But the point is that
like this all the time. God speaks.
You know what I'm saying?
So no. You
gotta be there.
No, I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Be friends, but like we said, get help if you need help, and there's a lot of help out there. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of help out there, and there's a lot of free help, and it can be over Zooms. You ain't gotta be for nobody.
And look,
you know
the panel. And look, and if this video happens to touch somebody out there, the panel is open.
The
panel
panel
open.
is open. We're here to talk, discuss. If
You
you
can-
want to get something off your chest, you got some trauma you want to release.
It's
We are
open.
here for you. We are your safe space.
It's open.
And we love
all you
you.
have to all you have to do is put a comment on the under this video and reach out, and we will reach out to you or whatever the case may be, and we'll go from there.
No judgment.
Because
Man.
no judgment at all.
judgment.
The whole goal is of us going over this is to go over mental health, help you get the right help that you need, and to help get you on the right direction of where you need to be, so that way you won't feel lost, you won't feel stuck, you won't feel like you don't have nobody to talk to, because some people feel that way.
Right.
No, this is facts.
Right.
So
And no one
definitely,
should feel alone. No one should ever feel alone.
because you're not alone. You may
No
feel
one's
that way,
alone.
but you're not.
You may feel that way, but
You
and
know.
feelings lie.
They do.
Feelings lie.
They fat ass
Okay.
lie.
Feelings lie. They will lie
you-
to you every single time without problem.
Mm-mm.
And just remember, you are not alone. You know,
Mm-mm.
don't let me start singing Michael Jackson, okay? You are not alone. Okay.
Z.
And-
Mm-mm.
Another day is gone. I
okay,
feel
like you're
all
not alone. There are people who care. We all know this because we've all been on TikTok. You know, you can find a community, you can find some friends.
Yes, and
But
also
know that there are people who care and that we are here to listen to
And-
you.
Are y'all cool if when I do work on the video? Y'all cool if I put y'all TikTok usernames
Yeah,
in the
of course.
video?
Put my TikTok handle.
Okay.
Let people know, you know,
Yeah.
we are here for them. You know,
Yeah,
we're down to
'cause-
talk. We're down to be
yeah,
here.
'cause you can-
You'll be here.
Because you'll definitely be able to find this video. You're gonna be able to find clips on TikTok, but the full video on YouTube. So definitely, if you do come across this video, please feel free to subscribe my page. That way you can see the videos, whatever I post, everything. So that way you can be up to date about everything. And we may be doing TikTok live videos very soon to go over more things. So that way the panel can be open fully. Just no drama.
Yes.
We just gotta. The only boundary is no drama. That's
No
the only
drama.
boundary. No drama.
No drama. Like
Nah.
Mary J. Blige. No, we can't say that because she's on the case with Diddy. Jesus Lord. So much shit.
That's going to be a topic for another day, because child, that has been a topic. It's been a topic. That's been a
But it
topic.
is a
I don't know. I might end up switching up one of these episodes for that discussion to be open.
yes. Because
And then
I'm here that because I want everybody to know it was not on my 2024 bingo card. It was not. None of it was. Not to know that Jay-Z might be the whole ringleader. Not to know that J-Lo was a part of this. Not to realize that Justin Bieber been dropping hints for the last couple of years. I wasn't
the
prepared.
signs.
I wasn't prepared.
So we're gonna get a little bit off topic, and then we're gonna close out. But it's like the signs were there. They were there.
Mhm.
Right there.
I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's so entirely sad, and we were all just so oblivious. Like they were
and it
there
was even
flashing neon.
even in the music, like the music lyrics, hidden messages, it was all there. And it's like that's just like what R. Kelly, when they kept saying, "Oh, how did you feel about these young girls?" It's in the music. The truth is in the music. That when y'all was in the car bumping and jamming, two-step in the name of love and all that other bullshit, it was in the music. Why ask this man a question that his answers are in the lyrics of the music? What he was feeling, that's what he put in that song.
But see, once again, this is a form of hysteria, which is caused by frequencies and everything control the vibrations of the mind and the heart and the soul and the chakra of your whole entire being.
Yeah, because
that part.
Music, what they don't understand, and people don't want to believe it, but it's the truth. And I'm gonna speak on it because music is nothing more but hypnosis.
It is.
It's hypnosis. That's why you don't think about it until later on, or that's why you don't think about it until they get caught up in some shit.
And then it's like it was right there the whole time.
The whole time in plain sight.
Right.
You've been rapping these lyrics for the longest.
And then when you hear it play
lyrics
back
by heart. You know these lyrics by heart.
And then look, when you hear it played backwards, you're like, I was
You're like, did
saying
that say what I? It said what I thought it said.
like it said that.
That was said.
Yeah.
Was something they said. Like you. Can we just talk about 1,000 bottles of baby oil?
Baby oil. Good.
There's so many memes and everything right now on TikTok. TikTok is eating this up right now.
Let me tell you,
bro.
I want. Can I congratulate our generation for being the most unserious generation that has ever graced the planet? We are
Absolutely.
the most unserious, and it's because we're all mentally ill. But we
Hey,
are the
look. Let me tell
between
you.
Donald Trump, that song, he's eating the cat. They're eating the cat. They're eating the dog. Rawr! And now the Diddy memes. I am. Thank you, millennials. Thank you.
They know.
Thank you
Look,
for being
they
so
know.
unserious.
They know how to find their
The humor.
So with Gen Z, what they're doing right now, and I can't do nothing more but give them their props on this. Whenever they find themselves in a dark place, they find humor to get themselves out of it. Because once they find that humor to pull everybody out, everyone's cool, everyone's good, everyone's in a good place, everyone's in a good space, and all it takes for them to do is to go on social media, do a little tweak, post, boom, viral.
I'm
Or
still
take a meme.
not over bad built butch body bitch. I'm still not over that alliteration. We are just a generation of crazy, unserious, unhinged.
I still can get off. I still can get off a brisket bag, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, we got to get out of here. It's almost 3:00 in the morning. I'm going to
Yes.
bed.
Yes.
It has been real. It has been fun. I enjoyed myself. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Of course. And look, thank you guys, and look, thank you for guys for attending this podcast. I cannot wait to see where this goes.
Yes.
So look, y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in with Dark Fires Podcast. We will see you guys later.
Peace.
Bye, Kyler.
I'll see you later, Z.